what is your view on the idea of a lockdown, and how does one pull oneself out of a lockdown? Because it is, what I'm realizing now and what a lot of people are saying is, it is a psychological change. When you classify the disease and then you say we're going to have a lockdown, you change the psychology of the people, the psychology of the population, who now suddenly are convinced that this is a very dangerous thing, which it might be. But you then have to wean them off that idea, and you have to do it carefully. You can't just blow open the doors. So how does one navigate this complicated space?
I always ask about the lockdown is, what are you using that time to do? How do you prepare for releasing the lockdown, right? Because lockdown buys you time, but lockdown is not the goal unto itself. So you want to use that time to prepare a really fabulous testing, tracing, isolation infrastructure. You want to use that time to communicate to people, and now we're going to get into the psychological issues, that life will be very different when lockdown ends, that this is not about going back to what life was like last May or June, that the life over the next 6, 12, 18 months is going to look very different. And it's really about planning all of that out. So it's not just communication, but really thinking through, what will public transportation look like? Who will go back to work? What will schools do? There's a lot of work that you want to be doing during the lockdown. And the last point I'll make on this is around the psychological issues. There is a very clear signal you send to people when you lock down. You know, we have had lots of disease outbreaks in India and elsewhere. We've never had to do a national lockdown. Yeah. So you're saying to people, this is different. This is much more serious and is potentially much more devastating if we don't do this. And so now you have, when you open up the economy, you have to create a certain level of confidence, because the economy resides on confidence. And if people are scared, they will not engage in economic activity. So you have to create some amount of confidence back. It's a complicated thing. I haven't seen any country in the world do it brilliantly, but everybody is kind of making their way through these things.